You ruined it. You ruined my song.
I remember that. All right. So today's word of the day, Shasha's just like laughing.
Just memories. We're just quoting
Memories. Each other. It's gonna be a clusterfuck today. It's fine. All right. Word of the day. Which word of the day? It's horror play. A phrase. Horror play.
Oh.
Whore.
You're a whore. No, horror play.
Horror.
And in the anime Black Clover, horror play is a supplemental tactic in fear magic where with an open grimoire, the user creates a black orb that then expands and traps a target, showing them the most traumatic and fearful event or thing of their life, which reverberates in their soul with greater intensity the longer the target is trapped inside.
Intense.
Huh. I've never watched this.
It sounds like a scary anime, a scary manga too, so
I love it.
you love it.
You haven't even read that?
Wait, what are you doing with the book?
So he has the confidence to finish the story.
Hear now the words of the witches.
This is Kevin, and welcome to Words of the Witches, the Charmed podcast that will guide you through the lesser-known published material in the Charmed universe and decide how it fits into the grand narrative of the TV series. Okay, well, welcome to Words of the Witches, episode 86. Ooh, 86.
Oh.
86.
I know. I'm Kevin, your resident Charmed resource.
And I'm Sean, and I just love comic books.
And I'm Sarah. I'm Kevin's sister.
My sister's here as a guest.
Yay!
I'm so excited.
Me too. This is great.
We've always had like a really close bond, right, Sarah?
Right, Sarah. You better convince them.
You better say yes.
Tell them how much you love me. Yeah.
Let's talk about me.
Okay, fine. Go
Well,
ahead.
I mean, that was me being you. Yeah, we're both Scorpios. We both grew up on Charmed, watching it.
Did you find it because of me?
I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watched it every week on this. What was it? The CW?
No, WB.
WB. Okay.
Wow.
I remember
I'm so
the
embarrassed. I'm so
commercial
embarrassed.
when they were like, I remember like the WB commercials, and it was like there was a fun song in it. It's a known song, or that they. Do you know what I'm talking about?
How Soon Is Now? That one? Or like the commercials, like that?
Like the commercials. No, I remember. Of course,
the
I
theme
remember
song?
the theme song.
I don't know. The
Never
fun
mind.
song.
It doesn't matter.
Because the commercials are different every week, so.
I'm not like it was just like an advertisement, and it was just like the WB, and it's like Charmed.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was like
I can't wait to. They had those WB promos and stuff.
yeah. What were the promos? What were the song? Like I feel like I'm trying to remember the song.
Talking about my generation. My generation, baby.
I think that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah, I remember.
Wow. That's love that you remember the song.
So what do you remember about Charmed?
Well, I remember Prue, Piper, Phoebe, Paige. I remember Daryl and Cole, Balthazar, and Andy.
Yeah, he's a
Wow.
character.
Oh.
He's a character. And yeah, I mean, probably more than you'd think, but like if you start talking about it, be like, oh yeah.
I remember because you knew I collected the books, and you actually had one of the books.
I did. I remember I did one for
You did a book
A
report.
book report.
On
Yeah.
so we covered all the books, and you
It's
remember
cool.
remember which book it was? I do.
I don't.
Haunted by Desire.
Yep.
So I remember I gave you my spare one, and it was broke because it had a little white dot on
I
it that
remember.
fell off of it. Yeah.
A little rip off.
And how would you say my Charmed love was then? Was it worse or the same?
That's a full question. Well, I don't know when it exactly became as noticeable. I think when it became super noticeable was when you already know what I'm gonna say. Is when we were at the courthouse at Dad's work, and you decided we were doing like photocopies and like printing shit off because we're like, oh my god, a printer. And he decides to print off on 8x11, piece by piece, the life-size version of Shannon Doherty.
No, it wasn't Shannon.
No, it was yeah.
It was season 6 pictures.
Yeah, it was Alyssa Milano, Holly Marie Combs, and Rose McGowan. And put them all up on his wall in the house we lived in Glendale. Literally taped them all.
They're life-size posters, yeah.
And all black and white. But yeah, I was like, this may be an obsession. Just dropping earbuds. But yeah,
I used to do shit like that.
That's when... It was a lot. I remember you like had it all mapped out on the ground and like
I did. I taped it all up.
You taped it all up.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to it?
I think they're rolled up in a box. Actually, I still have them.
Oh my god.
I still have them.
And then it just continued from then on, and like we started growing up, and I was doing things, so I didn't see everything that his charmed obsession became into until every single time that I would come over. And it'd just be, and he'd be like, look at this, Sarah. Oh my God, I got this. P3, this house. I'm there. I'm in the house. Like, I've met these people. I'm having them on my podcast. Like, all right, fucking tight.
What I remember with you, do you remember, because I used to have the episode pictures?
The episode pictures?
On the computer, like the pictures of the episode, and we'd go picture by picture.
Okay.
And do you remember when you would like give dialogue to the people in the picture? I would remember it was like, pick an episode, Sarah, and I would go in it, and you would like go through like and say the people what they're saying in the picture, like just making up some story.
Okay, that's like, it sounds vaguely familiar.
You don't remember this?
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
This was one of my favorite things that we did together. I'm appalled actually, because yeah, I would go on the computer. It was in the Windows 95.
Okay.
98.
Yeah.
And I would have all my albums of Charmed episodes, and you would click in there, and you pick the episode, and I would go frame by frame of each of the pictures that I saved of the episode.
I think I remember.
And then you would say, and I was like, "What's Piper saying?" And you're like, "Oh, I hate this. This stinks." And then like,
oh my god.
And you would go, and you would just make a little story in your brain.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my favorite thing. I laughed so hard every time. I'm like, Sarah, let's do this.
This is what we did in our pastime in the 90s.
Wow.
Okay. Well, this is going off the deep end. It's fine.
Let's go off the deep end, baby.
Who's your favorite sister?
See, I've always felt more Phoebe, but I don't know. As I've gotten older, I feel like a mix between Paige and Phoebe.
Yes.
I think.
Those are my girls.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you would assign a character to all of us, because we know there's 4 of us in the family, who would it be? I think Nicole would be Prue for sure.
Yeah.
Even though she's the half sister, she's the
I
oldest.
think she'd either be Prue or Piper, because she's more. Yeah, probably Prue.
Yeah, she's got that, overprotective, like really wanted what's best for us. We're like her
children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I consider myself kind of like the Piper. I mean, I'm like the Prue of the us, but I'm like the Piper overall.
Yeah. And Brian's
a hard one.
I know.
He's the wild card one.
And not because he's wild, but
I don't know. I usually just give him Paige or Phoebe just because of the order.
It depends on the day. Paige or Phoebe, yeah. I know. Depends on who I am.
I feel like we're talking too much. Okay.
Not enough. Next.
Because we're recording this early, there's no time for us to get the poll results that we had last week. So next episode, we'll just do the poll results for last episode and the one I'll ask for the end of this episode together. So no poll results this week.
Oh, I'm gonna miss the poll.
Yeah. No, we'll get a double poll next time. So.
Oh.
But I'm ching.
Double whammy. So how'd you guys meet?
Oh,
Through a Charmed
I'm
podcast.
guessed.
Sean, tell the story.
Just
So
like,
I was
hey,
on
you like Charmed, I like Charmed. Do you want to make a podcast?
basically, no, I was on one called Brunch with the Hollowells, and suddenly Kevin found us in, I think, season 4. And I was sitting at work, and I would get messages all day. Look at my charm thing. Look at my charm thing. Look at my charm thing. And so sometimes
Literally.
I'd be like, "That's cool, girl," but I also gotta work.
It's cool.
That's how we met, and then I got unceremoniously kicked off of Brunch with the Hollowells. And so when I was like, "Well, I want to keep going," because we were only on like season 5, starting season. Was it? When did we start?
6.
Season
Yeah,
6.
at the very beginning of 6, we started.
Yeah, so I was like, I want to keep going. I want to finish because the whole thing was like I was watching through it all and talking about it. So I was like, who loves Charmed enough to do a podcast with me? So I asked Kevin.
You just fell in my lap.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
The universe is like, here you are.
Yeah, and it was
Here's your-
fortuitous because it was right when he was starting this show. So he had 2 podcasts to do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's beautiful. We have a really great friendship now, a really great, energy together.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
of the
he's like-
first
he's like,
things
yeah.
when
Oh,
we
go ahead.
met, he's like, "Do you like Aqua?" I was like, "Yeah." "But do you know about the 3rd album?" He's like, "Yeah." "Do you know about the solo project?" I was like, "Yeah." "Do you know about the greatest
You
hits?"
guys are
CD? I
like
was
the
like,
same
"Yeah."
person.
Yeah.
Speaking of Aqua, remember what we did as kids with Aqua? She was the one I sang Aqua songs with in my
All the
childhood.
time. Oh my god. Yeah, we just had so much fun, like watching the music videos, looking them up, like because they weren't always. It's not like they were on MTV or fucking not that we even watched much. MTV.
I think we found them on YouTube, or even I think I did download them from like LimeWire or something.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I'm like, what's this music video? Let's see what it looks like.
And they were like, "Oh my god, yeah, we always
Yeah.
got it off LimeWire." Yeah.
And so we don't even know what it was until
And
after
then
it
always
downloaded.
at the beginning of all their music videos, boom, boom,
Boom.
boom,
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like Aqua.
Aqua,
Yeah.
and then like little birds. Hiya, Barbie.
But remember, it's like, okay, I'm gonna be Rena, I'm gonna be the guy, you're like, you're gonna be the girl, and we're like singing together.
Oh my gosh. We were at our cousin's wedding a couple of years ago, and I was driving it on the way back. He just starts playing Aqua, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, yes. And I'm like, we're like going through the songs, and I'm like, immediately remember every single fucking lyric. Yeah, it's good. And
I
he's
love that you're
going,
like all
and-
tatted up and you're like, "Fuck yeah, Aqua."
Oh my gosh, we are so distracted, peoples.
You just
Okay.
dropped a.
Coaster, it's a Minnie Mouse. See it? It's Pat's holding Minnie Mouse. Isn't that cute?
How cute.
How many times have you gone to Disney World or Disneyland?
I don't know, not as much as him.
I
He
go
lives
at
in LA,
least
so he's
once
at
a week.
Disneyland like every week. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
it there.
Well, doesn't it get old after a while?
No.
No.
Never.
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
I no longer
I
care
haven't
for Sarah.
gone. That's a lie. Okay, to be fair, I've never been to Disneyland. I've only been to Disney World, and it's been since I was a child. I remember screaming my head off to get Mickey ears.
Oh, those pink ones.
Yeah, I still have them.
Yeah.
And
Like, I want these!
well, I wanted the real ones. I didn't want like the plastic
Like cheap ones. Because everyone's like, Mickey ears. Like, these aren't the ones.
I'm so upset. I was such a brat. Like, I remember crying until Uncle Frank finally like got them, and I was just like, "Fine, like I'll deal with it." But now I like treasure it so much. I love you forever. Just like a little yarmulke with mouse ears.
Beautiful. All right, well, let's get on with this comic book.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Silence. Round of applause. Silence. Here's yours. You're going to read with this one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here's mine.
How cute. Here's mine.
Yeah, yours lights up.
Yeah.
Magic.
It's an iPad.
Yeah.
So, this is season 10, issue 11. Fear always comes back. Mm.
Mm.
And this was published September 2nd, 2015.
Wow.
Written by Pat Shand, artwork by Aliza Feliz, covers by Valentina Cuomo, letters by Christy Sawyer, edited by Pat Shand, and cover art by David Seidman. So this is the cover.
I see it.
It's got Paige, like mid-season 7 looking Paige.
Yeah.
I know exactly this time frame picture. She's got the little side swoosh, her
Side
ponytail,
bang.
her hoop earrings. Like, this is mid-season 7. And then we've got Barbas behind her, the demon of fear. Do you remember Barbas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You remember
I was
Barbas?
talking about his nasty teeth.
His gingivitis, I know.
His gingivitis.
We also see Henry here in the background. Do you probably don't even know who Henry is because you didn't finish the series?
Henry is, well, from what I gathered, is her boyfriend, husband. I feel like I remember Henry slightly. Like I remember the name, and I just don't. I don't know when I even fell off of it. I don't know the last episode I saw.
I think you're in time for a rewatch.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should just have a whole binge day.
Yeah, I like this. There's a weird like shattered glass too. I wonder where the shattered glass comes from.
Aesthetics.
Do you like this cover?
I do like the cover.
I think they look good. Yeah.
He is the shattered glass. He is the fear
Oh.
breaking through into
Like
your
using
reality.
metaphor.
Mm.
Oh.
Stop it.
All right, so what's gonna happen is
Ooh, look at.
that's you didn't read that.
Oh, I'm
comic.
so sorry.
No
Don't
skipping.
Well, these are the past ones, so I mean,
I
you could have
just
read
turned
those.
the page. The first
She saw
page.
our Rob Zombie character.
Wait, that was Rob Zombie?
Yeah. You didn't know he was in the show?
Oh, I see. I was just looking at Piper, but like, yeah, that's very Rob Zombie-esque.
So you need
Should I
to,
show them? So
No.
Okay.
you need to listen to the episodes.
I will. Here
But
I
yeah.
am.
So here we are.
Here we are, all on the same page.
So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna talk about page 1,
Okay.
and you're gonna talk about page 2, and then John will do page 3, and we'll do rotation. And if you have questions about what's going on, feel free to ask, because I know you might be a little lost in places. But this one I think is more standalone than others. I think it's easier to catch on with this
Yeah,
one.
I've gathered at least
Yeah.
like majority of what's happening.
All right. So the
think.
first page, we see Paige. She's home or at the manor, and she's on the phone with Henry.
He's in the hotel, or is she in a hotel?
Well, there's cutting between 2 bits. So like these bits here are their conversation, and then these little blue bits are another place. So Paige is home, and she says, "Henry, we need to talk." And he says, "I'm at work right now, Paige. I can't talk." But she's like, "But you didn't talk to me earlier before. You were too tired, and we really need to talk about what happened." And he's like, "I don't know what to say."
I like how the water bottle is like a significant.
It is a significant
It's
thing.
like a foreshadowing.
Yeah, see? Look at you.
I just
No,
noticed that too. That's
smart.
really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, ooh, ominous water bottle
Yeah,
there.
right.
Yeah.
But Paige is telling Henry, she's like, "Tell me you didn't mean it. Tell me you don't think we're putting our children in danger. I'm putting our children in danger." And in these other bits, these moments cut between, we see Benjamin Turner, which is Cole's father in Cole's body.
Oh,
So he's smoking, because Cole didn't smoke, but apparently Benjamin Turner smokes. And he's smoking at a motel. And we see there's an empty bed, so someone's in the bathroom at the hotel as well.
with the smoky smoke.
Mm-hmm. And between all these things, there's also another voice talking. And the voice says,
We've made such one.
go ahead, do it.
We've made such wonderful memories together, haven't we? I wonder if you remember how it felt when you were dying. After all, memories fade with time. They change as those who hold them change. But not fear. Fear stays behind. It's a lot like you in that way. Oh yes, you. The one that got away.
The
Dun, dun,
one
dun.
that got away.
You make such a good man with gingivitis.
Thank you. I practiced this role.
Yeah, I love it. So that was a fear thingy. I guess Barbas we know, and we see like a smoky trail leading into the bathroom. So
What's he doing in the bathroom?
yeah.
So, in this next page, Prue is in the shower, and she's just rinsing her face, washing it, getting ready for bed, and Fear comes in, watching her. Prue, a name like honey on my tongue. Do you remember how it felt to give in to me, Prue? How it felt when you almost drowned? I watched Witch. I know your secret. Words you never let leave your lips. For a moment, in that mist of that fear, as life began to slip from your grasp, dying felt like something like bliss. Did it not? Do you still think of that sweet little death? Still think of me? Do you still feel
No,
me?
don't read it.
Oh,
Not yet.
I'm sorry.
Don't skip ahead.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I was just getting really into it.
I know.
That's
I know
my
that goes.
page.
Sean, before you start though, I do have a "You Look Familiar" on this page.
It's funny, she's so familiar to me, though. Reminds me of this old stray that used to hang outside my loft.
Familiars. That's what I'm looking for.
Have we met before? You look familiar.
Oh.
That top picture of Prue in the shower with her hands on her head showering, it's almost exactly like what she was doing when Barbas first came to her in From Fear to Eternity when she's showering.
That's what I was gathering. I was like,
So it's a real good callback and very similar.
Yes.
So where's she staying?
Right now she's in a motel with Cole's father.
Oh, slut.
Oh. So she was in the bathroom.
Yeah, she's the one in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. It's starting to make more sense now.
Yeah. So on the next page, we see Barbas's head. He is the smoke monster. And he said, I gotta try to do the voice better than Sarah now. Do you still feel me in the shadows of your mind, my love?
It was
I
beautiful.
didn't really get the gingivitis sound there.
He's looking at her so creepily. Like,
so creepily.
He's like biting his lip. He's like, sleep like that.
He's like shadow jerking
Probably.
off on her.
It's like,
That's Scary Movie 2 energy. But what I love about this whole thing with Barbas in here, Barbas always favored Prue as an adversary.
that's why he's jerking off in the shadows.
Yeah, well, she's the first charmed one he targeted, and is the only one, the one he got closest to killing. You know, he was the one that got real close, so that's why he says the one that got away. And the way that he talks to her here is almost like an abusive boyfriend, which is very interesting. It feels natural to be like this. So, gross. All right, so continuing.
Turn the page.
Yes.
Bring me a red page.
That's missed. Bring me a red page. Okay, anyway.
Childhood.
So, Barbas is back, and he's continuing to talk. He's like, alas, you're not who you were. My Prue died and came back as something else. I can just, like, that's his hand. I look in your eyes, hidden from you in every way, and I know the truth of it. In the past, you would have felt me.
In the past.
In the past. Yes. Just like that. It's like, I wish our story could go on, but we have nothing left to give each other, do we? Goodbye, Prue. When you dream, I hope you see my face. So yeah, it's very much like abusive lover, like, think of me, think of how I almost killed you. Don't you love it? Our little dance.
No.
And then we see Prue leave, and she says, let's get started, Ben. We have a lot to do. So she's going to get to work with whatever, they're going to team up together.
Have you anything left for me, Piper? Or you, Leo? And then Piper and Leo are just kissing all up in the dining room. You sure you're good to drive them today? And an undergrad conjured a phlegm beast as a prank, so the magic school shut down for some cleanup. I'm eating breakfast. Can we not with this phlegm talk? Hey, Paige. Hey, Piper, you want to chat? And then Leo's leaving with the children, and then he comes back in with the, "It was once your very purpose to see me suffer, fallen elder." And then he's just going about his business, and he's like, "You interested in a movie after school today? Some quality guy time?" "Dad, you're paying, right?" "Sure, unless you two wanted to treat me. I mean, you don't need your birthday money, right, Chris? Fork it over, bud." "If only you knew I stood before you, how close I was to your children. Would that old fire awaken? Oh, Piper, your heart was once clenched by fear's icy grip. You couldn't help but wonder if it was selfish, bringing these soft souls into a hard world. But you've changed too, haven't you? You know fear, but you keep it chained. You feed your fear, appeasing it, treating it like a dog. There's nothing I can gain from either of you. Take this final goodbye as consolation, that when the innocence drifts from your children's minds, and the black tendrils of fear work their way in, I will be there. I'll be there."
Thank you.
He just starts
You're welcome.
singing. So next
Sorry.
we see Paige is crying in her car. She's like, "You're okay. You're okay. You're fine. Everything is going to be fine." And then we continue with Barbas. He's done singing and he's like, "Ah, Phoebe. Ah, Phoebe. You still... Ah. You still fear. Of course you do. But today is not our day." And we see Phoebe's with Coop and the kids, and Coop's like, "Phoebe, there's something I have to tell you." And then Barbas is like, "Your worst fears already are coming true, and I am an artist. I will not do another's
artiste.
work." Yeah, artiste. "Live out your worst
French.
nightmares, bitch. I mean, witch. At the end of the dark tunnel, I will be waiting." Ah! But then there's you.
He does do that, though.
He does.
He does.
He smells things. He's such a creeper.
He really
So
is. He's so
dramatic.
gross.
Good job to that
The
actor
one.
for playing it off.
Yeah. Wasn't it Billy Drago?
Billy Drago, and R.I.P. Billy Drago. He was so
Yeah.
good at his job. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Mhm.
Oh, Billy Drago. Okay.
I met
Go on.
him first in the adventures of Briscoe County Jr. It's like an alien
Yeah,
cowboy
cool.
show that
Cool.
has the Evil Dead guy in it, Bruce Campbell.
Oh yes,
Hmm.
who was also in Charmed.
Yes, he
Don't
was.
smile like Barbas.
Wasn't Agent Jackson? Was that his name?
Jackman, close.
Jackman.
Don't
I was so
press.
close. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Where was I? Ah! But then there's you, the one who was never supposed to be. We never got to know each other as well as I would like. Ah!
So then we have Paige, and she is taking on charge training duty. So she has all of her charges in one place. So we know Kareem is a charge too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's
Kareem-
how him and
do you remember
Tyler probably met.
That's probably how they met. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is Adel. How do you feel about that name?
I mean, I feel like Brennan's cousin's child is named that.
Oh,
My boyfriend's
Okay.
cousin's child. Maybe it's,
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry, it's Abel.
Oh.
Just kidding.
oh,
Okay.
Abel.
Okay.
Abel. No, I lied. Okay.
But
It's
Adel.
better than Adel.
Okay, yeah. This is Adel. This is Kareem, and this is Tyler. Do you remember Tyler from the show?
No.
Remember in season 4 when there was that blonde kid that would start fires?
Oh, yeah.
That's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's all grown up now and gay.
Yeah, I noticed.
There are a few hints.
But yeah, so she's like, "Hey, everybody, let's learn some defense."
Because you got to be on your game.
Yeah, she's like, "You gotta know. You don't even know when evil's gonna come and strike, and even on your favorite days like weddings and parties and graduations,
Demons don't quit.
they no sick days." So, yeah, so
Trying to be a hard
yeah,
ass.
it's like, you gotta prepare yourself. And so she's like, "Okay, you two team up, Tyler's with me. I got some beef because he went to the wasteland with my husband, and now things are weird and things suck, so I hate you, Tyler.
So, in this next page, Tyler and Paige and the other boys are going at it, trying to practice their defense moves. Not fast enough, Tyler. Get out of your head. Trying to whip him into shape. And then he gets her, and she falls right on her ass, on her face, you know. And then, and then she got the wind knocked out of her. And then all of a sudden, Barbas, are you what you fear? Are you what you? Oh my God, I cannot speak. Jesus, are you what you fear you are, Paige? And then all of a sudden, the shadow that looks like Tyler starts to look like Barbas. And while she's got the wind knocked out of her, Tyler's like, "Oh no, I'll grab you a bottle of water." And then this water bottle.
Not your turn.
I was
Okay.
leading into it.
Okay.
Thank you. So,
welcome.
Segue.
yeah, segue. As he's grabbing the water, there's this little like clicky thing looking. I was like, what's going on here? And Tyler goes give her the water, and we hear Barbas. Remember, Paige? I do. You already know, but you won't stop. You can't. Now that I have you. Ah! There we are. Isn't that better? Remember? And as Paige drinks it, she spits it out. Spoot! Spoot!
I love it. I'm gonna spit off my. Okay, spoot.
Spoot.
It sounds like it's like a Canadian spit.
Spoot. Watch out, these spoots. Watch out for camels, they spoot. Jesus.
Okay.
Wait, where are you?
Where are you?
Yeah, I'm on.
You skipped.
No. Oh, wait, I did. I accidentally went over to the next. Okay.
Okay, cool. So then we see Paige is having like flashbacks.
When she's.
This is so exciting to me. We see a flashback of Paige in her youth doing shots, and then it cuts to her like freaking out, and Tyler's like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "What's wrong? What'd you do to me? What'd you give me? What's in that water bottle?" And we see her driving to her car with her keys, and then we see that there was a big car accident. She was driving, and something. They're all shocked and scared, and then it cuts to her saying, "So much blood," and Tyler with a big ring of fire behind him. But this is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do know that Paige does not drink in the show.
Mm,
She told right when her first episode, she's like, she used to have a problem with certain
I
liquids.
remember.
She doesn't drink, and she never drank on the show, apparently, that we see.
Secretly.
And she has drank in some of these books. That's why I'm like, But I love that Pat Shand remembered this and got it right and give us some backstory about why she might have made that choice.
Mm-hmm.
So she might have hurt some people. She says so much blood. I don't know if they were killed, if they had, we don't know that, but she feels responsible for hurting her friends,
Right,
which
there's
is
an
scary.
accident on some level.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't drink and drive, kids. As this fire circle is emerging behind Tyler, all of a sudden he gets sucked into this fire portal, and Paige is like just delirious, and she's like, "What was that?" And they're like, "Tyler, come on back! Like, this was totally like they think it's all fun and games." And then Barbas is just reaping in and just, "How sad. You're right here, and they're still alone. You can't keep them safe from the waiting darkness because you brought it to them. Spiders, is it? How common. And you, beautiful things from another planet, hidden deep in the blanket of space, coming here for you. Childhood fears are the deepest, the irrational ones that never go away, that live in the marrow. Let's bring them to life, shall we?"
This is our power play moment, Sean.
Oh, let's do it.
Power play. So today's power is fear projection. And this is the power to sense and read the fears of other beings and use it against them. There are several different ways you can do this. There's projecting fear into reality, where the fears are projected into reality, sending a victim's fear into overdrive, paralyzing them until they die of a heart attack. And From Fear to Eternity, that's when their hair would turn white.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah. There's brainwashing, where like Barbas will tell you something, whatever, and it's like an instant brainwashing by using your greatest fears as the catalyst.
It's like, I heard a whisper.
Yeah, I heard a rumor. Yeah.
Oh yes, good show.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And so he says something, and the victim will take whatever is told to them as fact and act on it. That's what he did to Prue in Ms. Hellfire when he's like, your sisters are demons. And that's when she goes after them, just brainwashed instantly. He can create illusions based on fear. So he could bring fears into reality. This time he's actually just creating illusions based on a person's fear, and that they affect all five senses of the victim so that the victim believes their reality, and they can't be distinguished between illusion and real.
Mm-hmm.
In season 5, he learns astral projection, and when he learns astral projection, he projects an inner voice to them, preying on their fears and doubts, and then reinforces that with creating illusions in their mind. And so this is what happens with any astral projection. They all get the side power of suggestion included. It's just a subset of astral projection that comes with it. What's interesting, though, is users of fear projection cannot directly control other people's fear. They can only like taunt them. But it's because of that, if you have a healthy relationship with fear, if you have overcome your fear, that would make you immune to fear projection completely.
Oh, what if, like, wouldn't he be able to sense that? Like, that, and it's not a fear anymore.
Right. Well, that's why he's
like,
going around. That's why he's going around here. He's like looking at all the sisters.
yeah.
He's like, there's nothing for me here. I can't do anything to you. You know? Or in Phoebe's case, he's like, it's far too easy. he wanted more of a challenge. So it's cool that you can recognize that. However, there is something that we saw in the series one time, though, which is fear application. And this is something that Barbas does not have. But this is the rare and deadly power that forcibly amplifies a being's fear to the point where the fear kills them. So any tiny jump scare or shock or just adrenaline could be exploited. So you don't have to be really afraid of anything. It's just like a quick thing, and he could amplify that enough to kill you, even if you don't feel that fear. Elkin did that in season 8. In the season 1 premiere, we talked about how he like went into the movie theater and just amplified that guy's fear in the horror movie, and that's an interesting power. It would have been interesting to see more of that, but yeah. Okay.
I think I'm just gonna point out on this page that Adel's face is as beautiful as his name. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah, it's a big butt face.
Next we see Paige, Adel, and Kareem are being subdued by fears, which are giant spiders. So Paige is still on the ground saying, please, I'm coming, it's gonna be. So she's still lost in her like car crash reverie, it seems like, while Adel and Kareem fight the spiders. One of the spiders mounts Adel, and then we get a hiss, and we get a kaboom. And then Barbas approaches Paige. It looks like she's about to suck him off, and she says, you.
Did you get what Kareem's power is? Because he has powers too here.
Let's see. No, they look like little white waves. So what is it? Is it like a light power?
It's sound waves. That
Oh.
kaboom is from his powers.
Nice.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah. So, and then we see Adel doing his smoky powers.
Yeah.
So then we see Paige, and she, in front of her, sees Henry. And she's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I came to talk. Isn't that what you wanted? You did want to talk, right? And she's like, now's not really a good time. He's like, I know, but it's been eating at me like you wouldn't believe. It's like, it must hurt a lot that, you put our children in danger every day. Doesn't that hurt? I came to apologize for that, but then I see here all these children in your care in danger. Looks like you are putting children in danger, Paige. What's wrong with you? Kareem's poor thing's being stabbed in his hand. Ugh.
Yeah. Ugh.
Blood.
And in the next page, Paige is sitting there holding her head, just kind of confused and still a little rattled. And then Henry says, and here I was regretting what I said. Really, really, because I'm wondering, do you know who you are? And as he keeps speaking to her, all of a sudden she realizes that it is Barbas.
His teeth change. Look
His
how
teeth
gross.
start changing
Ew.
into that gingivitis. And, you know, he just is trying to get under her skin. And she's like, is that a fact? And she's like, because I'm ready to fight. I'm going to show these kids what I'm talking about because I'm not letting my guard down. She's like, none of this is real. And then he shows himself and he's like, I'm flattered that you recognize me. Perhaps your fear is closer to the truth than you know. This is beyond real, which it's about the feeling. And the feeling is always the core of it. Now they feel as if they're dying and their bodies will soon follow suit. Type deal.
Mhm.
More dead children. Pity.
Pity.
Yeah.
Pity.
Pit.
Pity.
Ah. So the battle wages on. We see spiders coming out of the burning ring of doom. And Barbas is like, are your lessons working? Can these lambs defend themselves? At first I thought he said, can these lames defend themselves? I'm like, that's not cool.
These lamos over here.
These lamos. And then Paige is like, can you? And she starts orbing him and he goes, heh, heh, heh. Taking me for a ride, witch? I welcome it. You can never defeat me. I live within you. I am fear. And Paige says, maybe I can't kill you. Maybe you're going to live forever. But I can sure as hell make your long life really unpleasant. I feel like this could have been a better, this could have been a better go get 'em line.
Spoken like a true Canadian spoot.
I
Yeah.
know.
I mean, that's Canadian.
I'm gonna
That's Canadian trash
These
talk
Canadian
right there.
comments.
No, they're not. But
Oh, just from the spoon.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And then she sends Barbas into the flaming hole of death.
The next page is Barbas flying into the fiery hole. Burning. It burns. And I was like, but he's like getting further and deeper into the hole, and there's spiders all around. The sphincter is getting smaller below him.
Oh
and,
no!
Jesus, what are you speaking of?
He goes, hey, and then he goes.
So much that it's off the actual like bubble, the word bubble.
You're right. You broke the
word. Like what? It's really intense.
Yeah, it's like whoa. As the
this
spiders
image
crawl
is so
all over
creepy,
him.
though. The spiders
It's so
all over.
creepy. He
That's so
revels in
creepy.
it. You know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not afraid of this shit. I'm totally
I
undisturbed by
welcome
this.
it. Yeah. All right. So then, as he disappears into the depths of the fiery ring, and the spiders, and all of a sudden, they realize they're like, wait, all of that was fake. Oh, and then he says something about missing cats, and then
Oh yeah, he turned into cats earlier.
okay, I was confused when I
Yeah.
read that. I miss when I was cats. Like, what? Okay.
Out of context, that's really funny.
I love
I miss cats.
how casual you said that. Kevin just casually says he turned into cats, and you're like, all right.
Makes sense. Fits the bill. And then out of nowhere, finally, they're like, oh shit, wait, Tyler isn't back yet. And then he comes swooshing out, like just flying down, like he's Supermaning, but vertically. And and then they're like, oh, then Tyler's boyfriend is like, you're okay. But they don't, I don't know. Are they like a thing at this point?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
established.
And then he's just like, I thought, well, something I decided like don't want to say. He's like, I'm fine. I know it wasn't real. I heard him laughing. Like, it's fine. Just relax. It was Barbas, wasn't it? That fear demon. Like, yeah. And then Paige is just trying to like push it on them. She's like, your fear, it must have been losing controls of your powers. We'll work on that, boys. Like, it was all you guys. Like, he wasn't after me.
Like, I have no fear.
And then that other dude is like noticing her little cocky projection there, and he was like, what was yours? It looked like that water was poisoned or something. What was that about? And she's like, I don't worry about it. It's all right. It was nothing.
I don't want to talk about it, Adol!
Literally. In her head, she's
Is that your name?
Shut up!
I'm afraid of your name. And then she continues on. They leave, whatever, and then the next part of the bottom is just her like sitting there in her own solitude with a glass of empty water, and just trying to repeat, it was nothing. It was nothing.
It was nothing.
In the dark. In the dark.
In the dark. And then we get this really sexy looking like Henry
So
in his
sexy.
shirt. He's like,
I was
hey.
like, hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
He's like, hey, Sean, want to fuck? And I'm like, hey, you're with Paige, but okay. And Paige
You're
is like,
Paige.
hey, hey, we're open.
She's like, looks like, hey, like, great,
Hey.
you're here.
Hey. And then he asks the kids, and she's like asleep. Henry Jr.'s been kind of restless the past few days. He misses his daddy reading to him. Oh, his daddy. He can be my daddy. Anyway, then Henry's like, listen, Paige, and she says, I'm just going to ask you, okay? I think after everything, I deserve an honest answer because, Henry, what you said really hurt me, but that was nothing compared to waiting these past 2 days.
So it continues, and Paige is like, do you think I'm a good mother? He's like, Paige, yes, it's not that simple. It's not about that. And she's like, but it is. It's like, do you think that me being what I am, a charmed one, me, do you think I'm putting them in danger? And she's like, Henry, look at me. Do you think that, or did you just say it in the heat of the moment? Because either way, that's something we need to talk about. I'm very pissed at you right now. You're not talking enough. He's like, it's a bit of both, I guess. She's like, that's not good enough. And he's like, well, then I don't have one, all right? He's like, I'm afraid. And then Paige just sits there. This is very powerful because I think when we know Henry is afraid and we know what he's afraid of, but I think Paige's greatest fear here is that Henry is right.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't want to admit it.
Oh, I love that.
Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh,
Ooh,
what's
onomatopoeia.
Henry's fear?
That
She's putting the kids in danger. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And she's like, shit, maybe he's right. And then the next scene is Tyler. What's his boyfriend's name?
Kareem.
Tyler and Kareem Tyler's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to kick you out. I'm still feeling kind of, and Kareem's like, totally understand. And then they have a quick little makeout session, and he's just like, I'm just glad you're okay. And then Tyler's like, more than okay, as long as you're here.
Smiley face.
Bye. And then just Tyler hops into bed, and he's like, "Gah!" and starts levitating like a possessed exorcism is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's crazy is this is Charm's first gay kiss ever.
Ooh.
So casually. And he's like, I love that he's just like, I'm sorry I don't want to kick you out, but like I'm kicking you out. Like I just really want you here, but like I have to kick you out. Like you're giving mixed signals here.
You know, it's a very traumatizing day though.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
So as he's flying up in the air,
we see he's going through some changes. He's transforming.
Changes.
Changes. So it looks like he turns into Barbas first. Goes, ah! And then he
Comes
changes
back.
it and goes, ah. And then he turns into Jeremy and goes, finally.
Yeah.
And then he turns into this other thing that looks familiar that Kevin's going to be mad at that I don't remember what it is. And it goes, hiss. And then he goes,
That's
oh, God.
Abraxas.
It's what? Abraxas?
Abraxas.
I remember
Season
Abraxas.
Season 2, Episode 1, Witch Trial.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he turns into this long-haired thing. It must be a long-haired female. I mean, no male has hair that long. And he goes, purr.
Got Tourette's over here.
He's like
Yeah.
switching between them all. Like
Um,
he's like, oh God, what was that?
yeah.
Purr, purr.
Yeah, and so the final page. Oh my goodness!
The
Oh my goodness! Who is it, Sarah?
wait, hold on. The end.
The end. You got it. He was on our podcast. He did that on our podcast too.
Did he? Did he do the voice?
He did. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, pit pit.
No, he's like this. He's like,
I'm the.
it's
end.
Shax. It's Shax here.
The demon. Yes, that was his name. I was like, I just
Looking all sexy like he do. Hair blowing in the wind.
blue fucking god man.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Yes.
Maybe it's just a demon.
So Tyler turned into Shax. Interesting. That's the end. Do we have questions? Do we have thoughts? What are we thinking here?
I'm thinking their life is about to be rocked by Tyler / Barbas / the other purple demon / Shaq.
I got a text from you. You're like, isn't that the guy that killed Prue? That's how it ends? I'm like, oh, I got you hooked now.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like each one he turns into is like one that the sisters would fear. Because like Piper, Jeremy, like Shax is Prue. I don't know. Barbas is kind of Paige in this episode, but I don't know Braxis and Phoebe though.
I think wasn't it Phoebe? I feel like
and that was more. I mean, it was kind of more of a Prue one too there, but maybe they're all Prue. Maybe they're all Prue ones because first Warlock, that was the one that Prue felt the first fear to protect her sisters. So maybe they're all Prue.
That's
demons.
true. Mm-hmm.
You guys are gonna get me hooked on this now. I'm gonna have to come on every week.
It's working.
Yeah.
It's working. Indoctrinate her.
Yeah.
Like, Kevin, send me another comic.
Yeah. I think this issue is like so full of emotions. Because what are these characters actually feeling versus what we're seeing? Because I feel like there's a lot of like under the surface stuff, a lot of secrets here, a lot of Scorpio stuff.
Scorpio stuff.
I think this is a very moving issue, but I also think it can be difficult to understand because I had to read this like 3 times to even grasp what was happening. Because there truly is like a lot of ambiguity that I think a lot of readers could find frustrating, especially near the end with all the portals and the Barbases and the transforming. So what are you thinking there?
I feel like I got it. I mean, you're right.
Okay.
There is a lot of emotion, a lot of under the surface stuff. I think what Pat Shan did really well in this comic is like, especially Paige's past. Like, I'm so excited we finally have a reason for her not drinking. And this continues to make me wonder, like, what's going on with Phoebe? Are her and Coop good together? Like, is she stuck on Cole now? And now that Cole's body's back, is she going to be like, you're his dad, close enough? And then it makes me scared for Paige and Henry.
Yeah. And we saw Coop say something. He's like, Phoebe, I have something to tell you, and we don't know what it was, but she freaked out. What is that about?
He's like, "This, you guys are already doing it. I don't need to do anything here."
Mm-hmm.
So, did you get that Tyler turned into Barbas back in the field with the fiery things?
Yeah, it took me 2 reads to get that, though. I picked up on it more the second time.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, because it is because they didn't want him to transform on the page, so they kind of took him into the fire portal. He transformed in the fire portal and then came back.
Well, yeah. So, like, where is Tyler really? Where's the real Tyler?
I mean, maybe it is the real Tyler coming. I don't know.
Because if it's Barbas and he was just pretending that it was Tyler, and then I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I should tell you, I should probably clarify that Tyler is now an archive, so his power is to create portals to other dimensions, to other realms, and so these portals can go anywhere.
Oh,
So
sounds safe.
I'm thinking maybe demons could cross those realms and enter and possess Tyler because he's like the bridge.
Yeah, vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. So anything for canonical? Put that in my canonical hat.
Canonical.
Nothing. You did. Well, you
Nothing.
did mention that you like the Paige, giving a reason for Paige's non-drinking.
True.
So that counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to go over Barbas' history here a little bit. So when Barbas first appears in From Fear to Eternity, they say that he can only appear once every 1,300 years. On Friday the 13th. Okay.
That's very specific.
Yeah. So
Friday the 13th.
ostensibly, if you banished him at the end of season 1, he should not come back for another 1,300 years. They should never have to see him again. But he comes back again from Miss Hellfire, season 2, episode 9, and apparently Barbas made a deal for a 24-hour window to try to get free there again, using the same MO, kill 13 unmarried witches before midnight, la-di-da-di-da. Like, okay, so make a deal a year later, sure. But then he comes back in season 5. He's in purgatory, and he learns astral projection from another demon in purgatory, which allows him to project himself onto the surface and torment people in astral form, tormenting
Whenever he
Cole,
wants.
and yeah, and that's
regardless of
right.
his
wherever even though he's in purgatory, he can still go across, and
freedom.
then he kind of scares Cole into giving up his powers, and he absorbs the powers and becomes, I'm back, bitches, Although in Sympathy for the Demon, that was the first time he was actually officially vanquished. The other two, he was just banished back, and he was vanquished.
Vanquished.
Okay. But then he comes back in season 6, Crimes and Witch Demeanors, season 6, episode 19. And here, I don't know why he's back. He's summoned to the trial. They're like, we liked his pitch. Like, a little like, what? Where'd that come from? He's just brought back from death because he had a good argument. And here, previously Barbas had that smoky effect. He would smoky teleport.
Mm-hmm.
Now he flames, which is an upper level demon teleportation power.
Ooh.
So where did that shift? Because back in this comic, he's back to smoking again. And then in season 7, he's finally vanquished again. So do we have problems with this? Are we following?
I didn't remember the whole history, but I remembered he was apparently finally vanquished in the show. So I was questioning if they were going to explain why he's back again. But another part of me is Barbas is so iconic. I kind of don't care. I just like seeing him back.
What's cool, this comic is called Fear Always Comes Back, which is exactly what he said on his final vanquish. He's like, fear always comes back.
Yeah.
So that's why cool tie in there. But I have a theory.
Oh.
It could be different.
I have a theory. So follow me here.
Buffy
I think
the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, girl, she knows. She knows.
I don't know Buffy as well, but we know the musical.
Yeah, the musical was
We knew the
top
musical.
notch, iconic.
Yeah.
It could be bunnies.
Bunnies aren't so cute. Nope, I'm not doing it.
Nope.
We're talking about Barbas. Okay. All right, but so here's my theory. So in this issue, and we talked about this on Hanging with the Hallows too in past things, because we say how fear is always part of human nature, can't really get rid of it. And here we're giving clues that Barbas is fear itself and can't truly ever be vanquished. Because they talk about that. It's like, I don't know if I can ever get rid of you, And I do like the logic behind that. I think it's always going to be a part of human nature, and it's timeless, and it's always going to be a part of it. So, like fear, I think Barbas is always alive and well, no matter what. I think before we met him, he was imprisoned in purgatory for 1,300 years. Say he's waiting it out. I think he was accepted those terms. He was okay with that grand design. But once he fought the Charmed Ones, he started to fight those terms. He's like, I don't want to be here. maybe I can break out. So he kept looking for ways to break out of his imprisonment. And that's when he started making deals and learning astral projection and finding those loopholes.
Dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think in season 5, once he was properly vanquished, when he was officially vanquished, that freed him of his cycle of having to be imprisoned in purgatory. After that, he was no longer just an imprisoned demon. He was now a deceased demon. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
But because he's a demon that can't actually be vanquished, he's actually unvanquishable because of the fear that exists in the world. That gives him, all he has to do is gather enough strength to return.
Like he is fear itself. So like on the realm of humanity.
Yeah. So now he can always reemerge regardless of the cycle,
but he's
regardless
always
of that
going to
stuff.
exist. Yeah.
Do you like this theory?
I do like this theory. It's kind of along the lines of like the Marvel gods. As long as somebody believes in them, it gives them strength. So that's kind of how I'm wrapping my head around it. Because he's fear.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're always going to have fear.
Because I think a lot of people would try to call Barbas a canonical error based on all the times he appeared, but it makes sense. And I think the way that I laid it out makes sense. Cool. Next is tips for future white lighters.
Oh, we're really just messengers? Guides? Think of us as guardian angels for good witches.
Tips for future white lighters.
I was out being a force of good in the universe.
What is the moral of this story?
To address your fears and how you're really feeling. Otherwise, they'll come bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Nice.
I really latched on to this Paige and Henry fight. This is kind of how Alan and I fight, and it's terrible. I fucking hate it because he's the type who wants to think about it and like really collect his thoughts. But the longer I let it go, the more I'm like, oh my God, he's going to break up with me. Do I need to move out? Where am I going to move? Like, I just go crazy. So along with what Sarah's saying, I'm like, just fucking like handle it. You know what I mean? If you need more time, at least tell the person you're fighting with, like, hey, I'm cool. I just need to think this through, but not the way they're doing it, because it just gets worse the longer you let it sit.
It just gets messy.
Yeah.
And my tip is fear is inevitable, but it can be managed if you acknowledge it and cope with how it makes you feel.
Right.
Don't see fear as the enemy, but as an opportunity to learn. And that is what turns fear into hope. And get it? He turned into the demon of hope. So he's like, hope is the freedom. You know,
I'm all of a sudden like a white lighter almost kind of feel. I've been saved by the grace of God. Like
fear always comes back, but now it's hope.
Hope always comes
will
back.
Save the day. So yeah. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So next is onomatopoeia, and these are the sound words like spoot. What's your favorite?
Cool.
What's your favorite one?
Probably the.
Stop it.
I like lower my eyes. Like I have to like get into character for him. I just.
You can't run. You're frozen in fear.
That stupid line kept going through my head the whole time I was reading this, because I know you use it in one of the clips on the show.
Yeah. What's your word?
Obviously, mine is spoot. It's wonderful. I love that it's now the Canadian way to say spit.
Yeah, same. That's my favorite one too. I keep thinking of it.
I think of that, and then I think of Aladdin, and the genie's like, "Oh, watch out!
Watch out! They spit." Yeah. Look at you making the Disney references like me.
You keep you're the nostalgic brother who keeps all the like childhood shit alive. So
yeah.
That's what I am.
Aw. I was like, you're like the same person. I love this.
Next is most valuable panel.
I'm I'm gonna go with the fact that like fucking Shax is back, only because I don't think it's actually Shax, but it's like really intriguing to see where this is gonna go now that
Yeah.
something is emulating Shax and can emulate these other things as well through Tyler. So I'm curiouser and curiouser, which Sarah is a Disney reference.
Yeah.
Curiosa and Curiosa.
Alice in Wonderland. Yeah.
I think I would say the same, truthfully, just because it is, or when he's like going up, but just he looks weird. So I don't know. I think probably Shax, just because it's like such. It's I mean, it's the end and all the metaphors of that of the past from the shows and everything, and he kind of looks like I mean it's the end of the comic, but then it's also like like he's the one who killed Prue, and it's just like holding the door open for all the mysteries of that, and it's like he just came out of nowhere. You're like, no shit, this guy, he's back. The fuck. So
343. That's my favorite one too. For everything you said.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a great way to keep the end. I love that it's the end of the. And I'm gonna send that picture to Michael as well. I sent him the Balthasar statue one, and I'm gonna send him this one too. So it's funny. I sent him the Balthasar statue picture, and then he responded with pictures of him bodybuilding back in the day. He's like, "Look at me!" I'm like, "Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Sexiest drawing."
That one.
The Shax one too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Or hold on, let me look at it again. Wait.
What?
He fell out of my ear.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm back now.
Hi.
Hi. Hey.
Hey.
Okay. What's you? It's like you just took a sip of soda or whatever.
Or like have you ever seen that thing of like the turtle trying to like have sex and he's like you have to see it. It's the most bizarre but hilarious fucking thing. Like I didn't know turtles just like made noise like that. He's like trying to hump and he's like it's like the cutest little pathetic thing.
I can't.
All right. Anyways, the sexiest.
Sexiest, right?
Either I don't know. I like the hay. I like Mr. Blue Man just as a drawing and godlike. I like Henry's like casual hay, but and the page itself, or maybe even Prue in the shower.
You know.
It's like wash my hair. I'm Prudence now. Okay, I'm done.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like your sweater.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll walk to remember.
All right.
You guys are so gross.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, what's the sexiest?
I want to give an honorable mention, and this is gonna sound really weird, but seeing Kareem fighting the spiders, he was like super sexy. But I gave it to the Tyler Kareem kiss just because it's so cute and they're so cute together and they're sexy.
Yeah, they're so cute. And I was between two as well. I was thinking this one, Paige, where she's like, you've made a mistake, big mistake coming here, Barbas, because she recognizes it's him and she's on a mission to like destroy him. I think that's super sexy. But also that Henry Hay picture.
Yeah.
He's in his tank, his arms up, and armpit.
Hair.
Like
armpit. Hair.
It's a sexy picture. It's a sexy Henry. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it a tie to both of those two because I like them. I can't decide. Oh, look at it!
Look at the little scribbles. Little scribbles up there.
Yeah.
And even just having him say hey. It's
Hey,
like,
look at this jawline.
yeah,
And he's
I
got
like
his
it.
What are you
mouth all
doing?
like, ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, who? He's like, hey,
Hey.
ooh, hey. Like, what are you doing? That seems like something my boyfriend would do. Like, you just show up like that, and like he'll just be like, I'm like,
Issue ranking. Is this magically delicious? Pretty witchin'? A sorcerer's apprentice? Disenchanting? Or vanquishable?
ooh. It's between Pretty Witchin' and Magically Delicious.
Okay.
So, like a nice in between,
Okay. That works.
I think.
Pretty delicious.
But then again, I haven't
Pretty
gone
delicious.
through the other comics, so I don't have too much of a reference to compare.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty great, Pretty Witchin'.
Cool. Now you're addicted.
Yeah.
I love that.
Addicted to.
I'm gonna say
Okay, Sean.
magically delicious because it was great. I really like this one. I love seeing Barbas back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say magically delicious too. It's really got that drama, got that punch in the gut, like, ooh, what's gonna happen?
That hook.
Lots of references back to the classic show that we know and love.
Yeah.
And lots of like Paige's history alone is like amazing to like just get that little snippet.
And there's
Tells
so
us
much we didn't know.
And the gay kiss and everything. There's so much good
it's like
happening
kudos
here.
all around.
Yeah.
This
So-
this one really freaked me out. I was like, what is happening to his face?
Yeah.
This is why I wanted to be alone.
P is for pole.
Piper. You mean it's just you and Prue, huh?
Phoebe? Phoebe, you there?
And a big hello to you too, Penny.
Come on, Patty. The rest is up to them.
Paige. My name is Paige.
Another P, imagine that.
P is for pole. Which Barbas appearance is your favorite? We have From Fear to Eternity, Ms. Hellfire, Sympathy for the Demon, or Crimes and Witch Demeanors.
Wow, do you know the names of the
Yeah.
episode just based
Yeah.
off of season 1, episode 13?
I know by heart. I know every episode by heart.
Oof. Obsessed.
Yes.
Big secret.
Yeah, because I just have the episode numbers here, and I'm just saying the names, and she's like, "How do you know?"
Oh wow.
How do you know? I'm just more like, yeah, wowed, I guess.
Do you know your answer or no? You wanna
Okay,
pick
well, tell
one?
me the season 5 and season 6.
Season 5 was Sympathy for the Demon when he came after Cole, and he had really long, gross hair, like it kind of, but it's longer and wavier. And then season 6, he got a haircut, and he was at the trial, and he was like, "Oh, those witches always
I
being
remember that.
very tricky."
I'd have to say, I'd say the first season.
First season, first appearance. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Sean.
I'm gonna say crimes and witch demeanors.
Okay. Because he was kind of a fun little goofball, very enjoyable. He had a little bit of humor in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's like, I'm a little bit lighter today. Okay, I like feel like I really just need to show you guys that
You will.
Later.
Okay.
later.
I'm just gonna say the OG one. Call me a purist. I don't know.
Purist.
Yeah. thank you.
Dearest.
But yeah, the OG from Fear to Eternity. I think that's when he was the scariest. So Sean, tell us what's next.
So next up, this one's called Virtue. I'm thinking, tell me if I'm wrong. So I think this is Piper holding the Book of Shadows. And is this like a patient spirit behind her and like Prue in front of her? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
That's what
This
it looks like.
this side is totally Shannon, totally Prue. So we see Prue like spirit and patient spirit kind of separated here. Mhm.
Wow. That's exciting. And it says here, Prue gets in touch with her inner self. Kira returns again. And the Charmed Ones make a hard decision about Prue's future that will rock the Power of Three to its core.
Yeah. And if you look, that's not even the Book of Shadows. That's the Grimoire. That's the
Oh,
Dark
it
Book of
is.
Shadows.
Huh.
Mm.
Oh.
Sarah, tell the listeners where they can find you and follow you and see all the cool stuff you do.
You can find me at Sarah Gads on Instagram. And I also have a photography page on there. And I also have an aesthetic page on there. I'm an esthetician. Yeah, so you can find some modeling photos, me just having fun with my friends, like whatever. But mainly my main page is for like modeling and like spirituality and stuff like that. So, but yeah,
Cool.
for any of the others, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I have many interests, not as crazy and severe as this, but you know, maybe tattoos, but maybe that's my thing.
Okay, Sean, where can we find you?
You can find me on the marvelous galaxy of Disney. We have your Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel news every week. Or you could find my travel company, My Magical Journeys, at mymagicaljourneys.com. Or my book, Witch's Brew, A Dream of Waking, on Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know, amazing.
Sounds pretty magical.
Why do
It
I want
is.
to put? I want to put the One Saturday Morning theme song to it. My Magical Journeys. I don't know.
I mean, it fits.
Yeah, and then you can also find Sean and I on our other podcast, Solving for X, where we're covering the 90s X-Men animated series currently. And then you can follow the Words of the Witches on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, or Words of Witches on Twitter. Yeah, so next week will be Virtue. Patience is a virtue. Oh, patience is a virtue. I just got it.
The wordplay. They do so good.
Your destiny still awaits.